Palace, so let's tell you about Palace. Rolling straight to the ceiling, crowns and crystals, top like journeys, dishing out malice. Hold up, South London's grandest, far from bandits. Anything earning for a goal of elevation, just passing the team over here might finish that bright future we can't vanish. It's E25 any day, that's sellers. Rev up the engines, no more reverse reactions, fan cans, bands on stream. Share up the team, support the dream team when eagles fly, make noise and scheme. Dare to dream or dream to dare, taking a step to become supreme.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of European TACT-EAGLE. And we will be playing Racing Club de Chelsea, Strasbourg. And as always, I'm joined with JC. How are you?
Yep, I am all good. I would like to apologise for what happened yesterday on stream. If you guys were on the stream, I was watching what was going down, and all of a sudden it just died. Remember that we tried to pre-record this yesterday, so it'll come out on Wednesday, normal time. But, the second I hit the record button, it may or may not have cut off their stream.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't even record what we were doing, so that made it even better. So, I apologise. Also, this game is obviously, we're doing this now, which is obviously before the Wolves game. So something could happen in Wolves and this whole TACT-EAGLE could change. But this is the only time we can actually do it because Dan is going to France on Monday, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going on Monday. And then I'm busy this weekend. So it was today. Luckily I was about today. To be honest, I actually think it's worked out for the better because I think it's good.
Doing these live is better.
Yeah, doing it live is better. Like we like hearing your thoughts and opinions in the comments. So I think it is better. And obviously the more views, the more likes, the more subs we get. YouTube money's coming in, baby.
I think that £20 a month is doing a madness.
Yeah, I mean it's self-sustaining. But put it this way, we ain't quit our day jobs.
No, anytime soon. We'll say that. But yeah, obviously, Wolves is the next game. Me and Dan might talk about it briefly, but yeah, it's the only time we could do it. And also, we did say at the start of the season we're going to prioritize all the European games over the Premier League games. And also, a brand new manager. Don't really know what they're going to do. Obviously, we know what Luton did, but they've got completely different style of players and this and that. So
yeah. Definitely.
If we're going to talk about it briefly, I'd just say new manager bouncing coming. Because I actually looked it up, Dan. This is the 7th new manager to play their first game against Crystal Palace in 2 seasons. 7. That's mental.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I guess before we go on to Racing Club de Strasbourg, I guess the thing that goes in our favour for Wolves is that their players are crap. The way they built their squad is just like really?
They didn't spend Cunha's money very well, did they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think the way they've gone about building their squad has not been great. I think they kind of went all in at the beginning and then it's just tailed off. I don't know if it's because the owner's not putting in money. I don't know if it's because they can't spend because of PSR or what. But I think the thing that works our favour is that. And I mean, Rob Edwards was doing good at Middlesbrough, obviously, before he controversially left the other day.
Question, what happened to Carrick? I thought he was doing all right up there.
He got sacked. Can't remember. I don't know. I hear mixed things from Borough fans. Some think that he was just not that good. Other people think that he wasn't like backed properly and like squad building wasn't that great and stuff like that. So I've seen very, very mixed. But I haven't watched him in a long time. I watched him a little bit like years ago, like probably about 3 seasons ago, I think it was. But I've not seen him since then. So
I only say that because I remember that I think before we had Glasgow, I think we were looking at Carrick, weren't we?
Well, Carrick was one of those like Championship League One sort of managers who had like really high stocks, like him, McKenna, Yeah, and then like obviously you got people. Well, I guess maybe slightly newer ones. Like you got Liam Rosenior was another one. Actually, funnily enough, obviously when he was at Hull City, Liam Rosenior was another one. And then you got like Corberan, and then even like who was the guy that managed Barnsley? I can't remember his name now.
No idea. But I think Borough also they sold Azaz, didn't they?
Yeah, they did,
I can't
because
remember
he
who to,
plays for. I think he plays for Millwall.
I remember he was one of the better players in the championship last year, wasn't
Yeah. Oh no, apologies. He's gone to Southampton. Yeah, he's gone to Southampton.
he? Yeah, so he's gone there to try and get promoted into the Premier League, didn't
Yeah.
he was one of the standout players last year in the champ.
Yeah. No, absolutely. But yeah, Wolves would be an interesting one, because it's hard to say. Like, is he going to do the same as what he did at Borough? To be honest, I haven't seen enough Borough this season to really say. But all I know is that their squad isn't very good, so we got a good chance, and also we got a good record up there as well. Actually, what was very, very, very quickly? Wonder what our record is, because I know I've been there twice and seen us win twice. So last season, and I'm sure we won there last season as well.
Oh, what, Wolves?
Yeah,
we did. I think we've not lost up there for a few years, actually.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, because look, there you go. Oh, so no, to be fair, we did lose in 2023.
Oh yeah.
But that was, that must have been a Roy game.
I remember that.
It was right at the end of the season.
Was it in the cup?
No, it was Premier League, but it was in April 2023.
I seem to vividly remember that. Did Traore score by any chance in that game?
To be fair, we actually did go like 3 games without a win up there. That was in COVID though, so I don't really remember that. But then before then, to be honest, the last time they beat us up there before that run in 2020, 2008. So it was a while.
Okay.
So it was a while. Anyways, let's start talking about racing, and I think again Liam Rosenior was another one who was a one of those, like, stocked high sort of thing in the championship. Got sacked by Hull. Really, they're the good team, that Hull team. So it was a bit of a surprise they didn't get in those playoffs. He then went to Strasbourg, where he is now. And one thing that we should all know, and we should all remember whilst we're all saying this, he is an ex-Brighton player, and he was briefly part of their coaching staff as well.
Assistant coach for the 23s.
Yes, exactly. So, put it this way, I'm probably going to be quite biased today in my bit, but yeah. But anyways, let's talk about the squad and the injuries. Let me get the right one. Sorry, it's been a while. I think it's that one.
I thought that transition was a lot longer than it actually was. So I thought I'd have a bite of my dinner, but it was not long enough.
He's a hungry man.
Pause.
Oof.
It's a good pause. Anyway, let's talk about injuries. Actually, no. Let's talk about Strasbourg a little bit more before we actually talk about injuries. So, right now they're 4th in the French table. 12 games played, 7 wins, 1 draw, 4 losses. So they don't really draw, they win or lose. +8 goal difference, so they are scoring goals. To be fair, at this point last season, they had a really bad start. But if you look at their last 12 games, it was 10 wins, 2 draws, 1 loss, which is very good form. They've had some really weird games so far this season. They haven't got any notable losses. I think the most notable one is probably when they lost to Rennes a few weeks ago, 4-1. but they have had some quite good games where they probably should have beaten PSG. It ended up 3-3, but they sort of fell apart right at the end. Pardon me. And also, one really strange game was they played against Le Havre and they got a really early red card. They ended up getting over the line 1-0, but red cards, I'll say this now, is a little bit of a look forwards to how they struggle with defending, let's say. On average, 2 goals per game, 1.3 conceded per game, 2 errors leading to goals so far this season. So 12 games in, that's not too bad. But both of those errors were penalties, which they gave away, which could be quite interesting for us. And so far in all comps for them, they've got 4 reds, which is quite a lot. If you break it down to games played, they get a red every 3 games so far. I haven't had a red in 4 games, so anything can happen.
Yeah.
So going into the injuries, so looking at us, preminjuries.com is obviously the place where we like to go for all of our injuries. To be fair, I think that we are all right. So going into the website, Glasner said everyone came back fit, and basically everyone came back fit that did go out. So likes of Decore, Riyadh, even though they didn't go out, they've been at the club. I think I've seen some bits here and there that Glasner said Riyadh's in training now. Decore is nearly back, so we've got those 2 guys coming back, but we've got no injuries. So this tells me Mark's fit, Kamada's fit, Wharton's fit, and Mateta's fit. But there was some discrepancy there when you look at preminjuries.com, but obviously I'm going to take what Glasner's saying over what it's saying on the website. So it did say Mateta's injured, Decore is injured, Riyadh's injured, Edward Nketiah. It just looks a bit weird that it's not Eddie. Cardines, Mark, and Kapoha. But according to Glasner, everyone's back apart from Riyadh and Decore, which is really, really good for us. He didn't mention anything about Rio Cardines. I know that he didn't go out, but I'm not exactly sure on what happened. It's an abductor injury. I know it's a bit more of a serious one, so I'm not sure about his whereabouts, but, it's what it is. Looking into the Racing Club Strasbourg football, if you want to do it like that, they have 3 injuries. So they've got one of their fullbacks with Maxi Ayodele with a muscle injury with no return date. Carl Johan Johnson is just a goalkeeper. He had a wrist fracture, but it said he's back for this game. I highly doubt he's going to play because the goalkeeper that they've been playing, Penders, has been really good for them. So I reckon you'll mostly see him on the bench. And another guy called Saido So, who just got an ACL the game before this one, which is very unlucky for him. So let's go into the predicted 11s here. So for us, I have basically gone full strength as you can go. I've gone Henderson, Mitchell, Munoz as our wing backs, Gay, Lacroix, Richards at centre back, Kamada, Wharton, Pino, Sarr, and up top, Jean-Philippe. 2 starts, 2 goals for France, which is I think the first time someone's done that since, I think it's Saha that did it before.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Which is, even Mbappe didn't do that, so, our Malteser is doing a madness.
He's better than Mbappe.
Can confirm.
There's proof.
Are you making any changes to that one, mate?
Not fast, no.
Quick one. Do you expect us to maybe rotate a little bit in the Wolves game so we can play that team again?
No. Just because I don't think Glasner will do that. I mean, he might potentially take out one of the midfield. He could
might throw in a
Canvo. Yeah, something like that. I don't think he'll do anything crazy. Like, you're not going to see Uche starting or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I think I mean, possibly Nketiah might start. I don't know, but yeah, it's just going to be the standard. Possibly Canvo, possibly Lermo's been in good form. To be fair, like
I
maybe
wouldn't be mad at a
just
Lerma.
yeah, I wouldn't be mad because I think a problem. One of Wolves' biggest problems, I think, is their lack of physicality. And if you got someone like Lerma in there, just going into them, I don't think that'd be a terrible bit of rotation there. To be honest.
Mm. Moving on to Racing de Strasbourg. Two things. Depending on the opponent that they play, it really depends on what formation they play.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're trying to be a bit more physical, they'll actually play a 4 at the back so they can get 3 proper 2 holding midfielders and a 10 in there. But if they want to be a little bit more technical and have some better players on the ball, then they'll play a 3 back, which is very similar to us. But where you can see we've got 2 wide 10s and a central striker, they've got 2 central strikers and an even more central 10. So all their width is brought to them by their wing backs.
Yeah.
But going into their lineup, I have gone with Penders in goal. Barco, who is also is he there on loan from Brighton or is
no? They bought. I think no, because he went on loan somewhere in the Liga and then they bought. I'm pretty sure they bought him. Same with Enciso as well. I'm pretty sure they bought him.
Yeah. So obviously you got 2 ex-Brightons. Do you know why? Because Strasbourg is Chelsea the remix, but the French remix. So you got a lot of the Brighton people there, so that's why you end up with those 2. He normally plays in the central midfield where this guy plays, but their normal left back is injured, so I reckon that they might flex him into that position.
Yeah,
which is why I've got him there. Otara as the right wing back, he's been very good. He's 19. He's been very, very good for them this season.
Mm-hmm.
Doué, Hogsberg, and Decore at the back. Amungo and Maurabet in the midfield of Enciso in the 10. Panicellini, I think I got that right. And then Emega, who is a player that we've looked at for Transfer Weekly for a few years now, actually. One thing I will say is that this Pies guy is their most used substitute so far this season. And he is a right winger, but he normally comes on when they're trying to chase a game or score a goal, and he'll normally come on for Otara, and he'll basically shift up, and their whole team will sort of change formation ever so slightly like that when he comes on, which is quite something that I don't know if you mentioned that in your part, Dan.
Yeah, I think the main thing with Strasbourg is that they've got so many players, and they've got so many players like Chelsea. They can rotate and they can have players all over the place.
And like Sarr is good enough to start for them as well. Like they've got some really good players, and also someone that was ex us last year, Chilwell. To be fair, I wouldn't be surprised if this guy doesn't actually play, and they play something like that. Actually, no, I'll stick with that. Actually, I think that makes more sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Would you make any changes to their team, or do you sort of agree?
That's pretty much what I get. That's what I mean. Like they have got so many players, they got so many ways to rotate, and and also they got versatile players as well.
Mm-hmm. Let us go do some comments quick before Dan takes us through.
Big up the dog. You've missed the TACT-EAGLEs. Aww. Yeah, we'll obviously we'll keep doing them, etc., etc. We've been prioritising these. What's happened there? Something's happened. Oh no, JC's muted himself. Big up, Chairman. How many parts is this one? We'll try our best to keep it to 1.
Yeah, I'm muting myself. You don't hear me chomping.
Big up, Mary. Looking forward to this. Yesterday was weird. Let's give Chelsea C team Le Blues. Let's hope so. Big up Earth. Hi Dan and JC. Rich T and Nicky had a horrid time interviewing the Wolves guy. Went down a few times. Yeah, that may or may not have been our fault because we were trying to pre-record and it might have. Put it this way, the experiment didn't work, so we won't be doing that again. Big up Pat, big up Dan, and the GOAT, aka Adam Wharton. Big up Damo, Jean-Philippe hat trick. Let's hope so. I've missed you guys. Tomorrow's a must win. We beat Wolves 4-2 3 days after the cup final with a week 11 that hadn't trained because they've been partying. Yeah, let's hope some more of the same. 3 points going into this, I think, really, really good, and then that puts us in really good stead for the latter half of the season. Big up Alex. Can't help but feel really pessimistic about the Wolves match. We struggle from international breaks. Yeah, we do, to be fair. Could be a bit of a drab game. We'll see. It really depends whether they turn up or not, because I'm not going to lie. I feel like, I can't remember, I watched them like a couple of games ago and they conceded, they were okay until they conceded the first goal, and then it was literally just like, that was it. Chelsea, I think it was. And they just fell apart.
I think that early observation for me was they were like quite a hyped up team, in my opinion. Like I was coming into this TACT-EAGLE with really, really, really high expectations.
Who? Strasbourg?
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that they're a bad team, but I think that the hype was probably a little bit overdone.
Yeah, when I get to my bit, I'll talk about
whether that was last season's team, because they've lost a few of their main players. Like I think Bakwu, he's now at Forest, who was their main assister last year. Andre Santos gone back to Chelsea again. So like some of their really big hitters in that team have left, but I'm not saying that they're a bad team. Just saying that some of their more franchise players aren't there anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up there for Strasbourg is a must win. Wolves is a should win. Yeah, I agree. And yeah, Arsenal League Cup is a love to win. Absolutely. Why does Palace have such a poor reputation of travelling away games outside London? I think it's a mix of things, I think the thing is we've been in the Premier League for so long that it's like you've done, like as a fan base, a lot of people have done the same stadiums, many times. And the thing is we don't have a big fan base either, because to me, any club that always like sells allocation, generally they have, not always, but like for example, you feel like a Newcastle, a Villa, someone like that. Their fan base are way bigger than ours. So it's like, let's say, one of us doesn't go to an away game. They've got 5 or 6 people queuing up to go to that game. Do you know what I mean? Whereas we don't have that luxury. And and I think that combined, and then also this season, we're going to Europe. Because the thing is, like when we have, say, like a novelty sort of game, we always sell it out. Like, for example, Everton's one that we haven't sold out for at least a few years. But as in both tiers at Goodison. But then this time we sold out the full allocation, like pretty much no problem. Yeah, exactly, because it's a new stadium. It's there's a bit of a novelty there. Whereas,
and also, if it's a ground you haven't been to in ages, like if we draw Bristol in the cup, for example, I bet you will sell that out because people haven't been there in years.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why we're seeing this with it's a Thursday game in Europe. Okay, I know obviously it's because it's Europe as well, but like the fact that we sold over 2,000 tickets at like a few weeks' notice for Poland, and then we also then sold we sold out in phase 1 for Strasbourg and then phase 2 for Dublin. So I think that is for me that's the reasons why it is novelty, and also we just don't really have a big fan base. And to be fair, I think sometimes it is a bit unfounded, like in terms of like outside of London, because we will sell out Southampton. We sold out Ipswich last season. I'm sure we've sold out like Norwich as well. We sold out Forest the first time that when they came up.
We normally sell out Wolves. We normally take the whole strip normally, don't we?
Do we? I thought last time we didn't, but
if we were there nearly there.
If it's a midweek, we don't. I don't think. But then, like Forest, for example, we sold that in the first season. We sold Villa the first 2 seasons. In fact, Forest, we sold nearly all of it on a Monday night the season after, which I think is pretty good going. That was one that I drove up to. And then, yeah. And to be honest, dog, like, I think you can say it, but then I think the majority of football, like, because of the way football is, and because also they're set in, like, urban areas, and because of, like, the history of the game, a lot of teams will have work. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not something specific to Palace. That's something that I think you can say with pretty much every club in the country.
Yeah.
So big up Ian. Lerma start for attacking set pieces. For Wolves, I can see it. For this one, I'm not really too sure. for RC Strasbourg, I'm not too sure how they look on set pieces defensively.
Not great.
Well, then Lerma could be a possible, but I would still probably have Kamada and Wharton in there personally. And Chairman saying we've done this time full 3,000 sold, because I feel like there was a couple in midweek and we definitely didn't sell. We definitely didn't sell the full on that. But I know that they've moved. I know that they've moved that away and around a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Anyways, so let's move on to how Strasbourg attack. Right. So before I tell you about how they actually like attacking that, I just want to show you their shooting stats. Okay. So the thing to note is actually, because I've got this filtered by shots. This is FB Ref, by the way. For anyone who wants to look up their own stats, it's free online. You got Strasbourg here. They actually rank pretty much in the middle for their shots taken in Ligue 1. But with that said, they have the best non-penalty expected goals per shot in the league by some margin. Like, I think second place is probably, I know, to be fair, second place is pretty good, but that's a very high average, put it that way. And I think you can kind of see that in the way that they play. And in my honest opinion, I think they're a bit, I'm not going to say overrated, because obviously, you know, they're generating chances, stuff like that. But I feel like, put it this way, the reservations that I had about Liam Rossigna when he was at Hull, because I did watch a bit on him, and also they had a couple of players that I was watching as well. I think, can't remember, but anyway. And then the reservations we had with him then was that he was too rigid. He was very much in the mold of, like, this is how I play, and that's it. Don't really change it up, blah, blah, blah. And to be honest with you, I feel like that is kind of here too, because they've got some very, very set structures when they play, depending on the side of the pitch. And I feel like they don't really move themselves. So I'll start when they have the ball over here. So for example, if they're here, they will have a formation that looks kind of like this, right? And then they'll have this here. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? Yeah, and it'll look something a bit like this, okay? I know these players are a bit all over the place. Like, I know this striker's probably not going to be down here and stuff like that. But this is what I saw in the games that they played in Ligue 1. So they generally have a structure where they'll have their keeper, and they'll have a structure that looks like this. So they'll have two in this line, and they'll have 4 in this line. I think the reason for this, actually no, I'll tell you the reasons in a minute. So they have something like this, okay? Quite narrow. Actually no, not so narrow. Not that narrow, but they have a lot of players in this build-up. And if, say, you're this is from a goal kick. So let's say they actually just like recover the ball and it's kind of a bit more like that, blah, blah, blah. And we're sort of like here. Okay, something like that. Pushing up, pushing up, pushing up. And then what you'll generally see is you'll see the goalkeeper will actually kind of become one of these players as well. He's happy to move into this line and become an extra player. So then you have something a bit more like that. If they go high up the pitch, then he'll drop off. He'll just do his normal thing, and they'll go more to something like this. And to be honest with you, I just feel like this is quite easy to defend against. The reason why they want this is because he's very much a school of baiting the press out. So he wants people to be like this, running around, and then create space in behind and things like that. Okay, because their goal right now is then for players to, what they want is they want this striker to drop off and act as like a pivot player. They want to be able to get balls into that player, so then they can, they can be played off and things like that. And I just feel like even though they stagger their midfield, I feel like they're just quite, I don't know. I just felt like they were quite static. And I mean, they can move and then try and create like these passing lanes and stuff like that. But I just felt like they were very static. And I think teams have kind of cottoned onto that in Ligue 1. And I feel like because of that, a lot of teams will defend quite narrow against them now. So like if you have us here, for example, that we're going to go something more like this, right? And, we're happy for them to pass it between their centre-backs, no problem. And then if we have our players sort of out here, pass to Hergsberg, whatever his name is, and then, then we can, as a press trigger, we can then, shift over and then go for it. Same with the other side. And because of this, I kind of feel like that they are forced to go down the wide. And to be fair, like I do think they do have some good movements, and they're quite clever with their third man run. So like what I mean by that is, let's say Doué makes a run here, he runs. Oh no, actually let's say that we're trying to take a congested area, right? Something like that. So Doué's actually gone, say, into the half space. So then Kamada's kind of picking up two players, blah blah blah. I'm trying to think the best way to explain this actually. No, so the best way to explain it actually would be, let's say, actually, let's stick with this. So let's say, let's stick with this. So let's say we've got these players out wide. Ouattara makes a run here, and then he's trying to make out that he's a second guy. He's not. This is what you call the third man run, because actually the goal is to get it into Emego, whoever the striker is. So then you can fire that in. So basically what you're doing is just using another player to drag away a defender to then try and make some space, try and make a passing lane. And that's fine. And they kind of do this on the wing as well. So let me show you an example on here. So this is a good combo. So, oh, whoops, I didn't blur anything out. Damn it. Okay. Let me show you on here then instead. So let's say you're passing the ball here. Okay. We're going to need this player to track. They are decent with their 1-2. So they will use the fact of saying, so let's say Hergsberg, let's say you got a 2v2 here. Hergsberg will run, but he knows that Mitchell is the one tracking Doué, right? So Doué's going to maybe shift over a little bit, and Hergsberg is going to be the player moving over here. And then at this point, Mitchell and Pino will swap the player that they're picking up. and they will try to manipulate that so then they can then try and get in behind, because what they ultimately, the goal of their system is to be facing our goal and running at us. Okay, that's exactly what they want. So they will try and manipulate that. I just feel like they do really struggle with breaking down blocks, and that's why I think they do try to suck teams in, because like I was saying earlier, the goal of what they were doing was, so let's say, so it had a shape sort of like this, right? Actually a bit further up than that, shape like that. They're trying to suck you in, because what they want is, they want, say, something like this, where, say, Omid Dele has got the ball here. What they want this gap to happen here. So then they can then fire in a ball to Omega, and then he can then lay it off to someone like Inciso. So then he's suddenly running in at goal. I would say the style is similar to like De Zerbi at Brighton. He was Rosenior wasn't there that long when Potter was there, but I think some elements of the game is there. And I got to be honest, I just found them a bit ponderous, because the thing is, it's like, it's fine, but it's like when they're here, say, I feel like a lot of the time all they do is just pass between the centre backs, because it's like you have these here, right? So then you have the wide players who are, actually, it wouldn't look something like that. It would look, if it was a wing back, it would be Doué doing that, and then say Ouattara would be up there. So it kind of looks something like that. They'll have 2 10s. They'll have, no wait, what am I talking about? No, sorry, I'm being an idiot. Sorry. So they'll have something like this. So there'll be someone holding the width, and then again, it depends on who plays, because different players will do different things. So, but their shape will pretty much always look something like this in the latter stage. So it'll be like a 3-2-4-1, basically. They'll have 2 10s, they'll have 2 wide players, and they'll have 1 striker who like kind of holds that line and, you know, pins the centre backs and all that kind of stuff. But it's like, if I just feel like they're very ponderous, because it's like, you're here, okay, and it's like, okay, so you've packed out the middle, because, you know, you sat your striker on here, so, you know, if you go there, you know, your striker is always going to be able to catch them out and stuff like that. And basically, there's no way you're going to get through there unless something amazing happens. And so, okay, so fine. So then they're forced to shift out wide, but then it's like no one really goes out there and helps. It would be like a case of, okay, so then Kamada will go out there, and then, Kamada may go out there, track this player, and then I just feel like none of them don't really tend to go out and help each other. And you're probably all thinking, okay, how have they done so well in Ligue 1 then, in terms of attack? Honestly, I maybe it's me being a bit harsh on the system. Again, Liam Senior, ex-Brighton, blah, blah, blah. But I just feel like they rely on individual excellence quite a lot. Like, there's a couple of times, for example, on here, where, say, like, you know, they've all shifted over here, blah, 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 something like that, right? Let's just say over here, you know, maybe one of these players is giving some support or something like that. I don't know. But it would be like a case of, like, you know, this player's actually managed to run around the centre-back, so the defender. Or I've seen a lot of times, I don't know if JC's going to talk about their press, but I mean, I didn't think their press was that like intricate or that like skilled or anything like that. But they did seem to win the ball a lot in sort of like this area, which then enabled them to actually then go and attack and create a chance. And in fact, actually, if you look at their, did I do it? Oh, no, did I? Maybe I didn't. If you look at their shot creating actions, actually, the majority of their shot creating actions is actually from defensive
turnovers.
Yeah, from turnovers. But then I don't know. I didn't think their press was that amazing personally, but you know, whatever. And and I don't know. I just felt like they didn't really do I don't know. I just feel like they're very ponderous. I feel like they keep the ball a lot and they don't really do a lot with it. And I think, don't get me wrong, it is high risk, high reward. I guess what I would say is where they're dangerous is that if they do say get into, I do have screenshots, but I forgot to do the thing, so I'll just show you on here. Like if they do say get into like a position like this, for example, and let's say one of our players up there, if they get into a position like this because they've sucked us in from a goal kick or whatever, they've sucked our press in, blah blah blah, and we're kind of caught a bit half sort of in shape. That's when they're dangerous, and that's probably why they have. That's probably why they have the highest non-expected goals per shot there. And also the final thing that I do want to say is this. So this is from Understate, another website. If you look at their so when they produce the fewest amount of chances is when the game is drawn. Okay. Granted, they don't concede a lot, apparently, but they also don't create a lot. And I think that is because they're quite ponderous. And if they get if it's 0-0, the other team isn't necessarily going for it. They're not trying to get out. And then if it's when Strasbourg score the first goal, the other team has to go out. And then suddenly, if say we concede, we're going to be leaving gaps and stuff like that because we're trying to go a bit higher. We're trying to attack a bit more. That's when they're dangerous, when you give them the space. But the problem is they're not very good at creating that space unless the team makes a mistake, I feel. But then they seem to capitalize on it. So maybe that is their thing. I don't know. But honestly, in my opinion, I wasn't that taken back by them. I agree with JC. I didn't think they were as good as maybe they would say. I don't as they give credit for. I think it's very much they've got good players and teams make mistakes against them. What I will say as well, actually, sorry, I totally forgot to say is if we do want to get at them, and this is sort of a way to attack them as well, they've got young players here. They're inexperienced. They're going to make mistakes. I think we can. I know I said we shouldn't when we press them, they'll be dangerous. But I think we can caveat that. I think we've got 5 very good defenders who are very good in duels. And I would trust them winning those duels, especially on this side of the pitch as well. So I actually would say when it seems reasonable to, definitely press them up here because I think they'll make mistakes.
Sweet.
Cool. Was there anything else, JC, you wanted to add? Or
I mean, I don't know, I did it sort of as the defense stuff, but it kind of does lead into the attack. So let me go through their press a little bit.
Yeah. I kind of left that for you.
And then we'll roll the defense thing, and then I'll carry on with the rest of it. But what I noticed is that, as Dan sort of alluded to already, most of their pressing happens in this part of the pitch. And the second the ball gets progressed outside of that part of the pitch into, let's say, this third of the pitch, there's not really too much pressing going on.
Yeah, I noticed that, yeah.
But then the pressing starts again the second that you get closer to their box. So sort of neutral ground, they're sort of happy to leave you alone with the ball. Like even if, I don't know, let's say Mateta's got the ball here. Well, the ball's even bigger than Mateta at the moment. Hold on, that's not right. So even if Mateta's got the ball here, they're not looking to jump out and snatch the ball. If Mateta picks up the ball and turns, for example, he's going to see that they're just going to shuffle back until it gets to that point where there's a trigger.
Mm-hmm.
But their press, as Dan sort of said already, it is a press, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. And the reason why I say that is because they basically plan to go as man to man as possible. So basically, they're trying to flood the opposition to draw out a mistake. As Dan said, they want you to make a mistake so they can capitalize on it with their individual brilliance. Only issue is that when they do this, they do leave a lot of gaps. So, for example, let's say Henderson's taking a goal kick here. This is sort of our normal setup, let's say. So you got Mitchell, you got Richards out wide, you got Munoz pushing up, and then you got 3 of their players, standing on the edge of the penalty box. And let's say Henderson passes the ball over here to Lacroix. What will happen, sort of all at the same time, is Enciso will make a beeline for the goalkeeper. This player will make a beeline for him. Emega, because the ball has gone the opposite side to him, he will then sort of come across the box to like a position around here, trying to cut off this pass to Kamada. And Chilwell push up. Barco will step up, and this player will then try and pick up Wharton here. And I don't know if it's as easy as you can see it on this tactics board, Dan, but what is the easy way out here?
Well, you just ping it to a high, someone who's pushed high.
Munoz.
And then the thing is as well, like on that side, if they decide to play Chilwell where Decore is, or even that left wing back, we all know that he's not beating any of those players in a foot race.
No, and especially if Chilwell's pushed all the way up here, and Munoz has got a 20, 10, 15 yard head start, he's not getting back there in time as well. And the thing is that the press is good. It's high energy, but there's not much thought behind it. It's very much, we're going to put ourselves in the position that if Lacroix messes up that pass, or Lacroix tries to play it along the floor, which you would never play that pass along the floor, they've got 2 players in the way that if they pick it up, it's just pick it up, touch in there, and then a shooting opportunity. That's what they want. They want a turnover. They want to have 1 pass, and then they want to shoot. That's what they want to do. They want to turn over and create a shot, create an action. But the press is, I wouldn't say mindless, but I'd say that there's not much thought into the fact of what if the press doesn't work? How do we get out of this situation if it doesn't work? There's not much thought behind that.
Yeah. I just felt, and also like I just felt like when I was watching it, I feel like a lot of the time it was more the I don't know, the team they were playing. It was more their fault rather than a good press. Do you know what I mean? Like it was. That's how I felt anyway watching it. But
yeah.
Right. I'll just do some comments and then we'll move on to their defence. So I didn't realise I waited on for so long. Jesus, sorry.
To be fair, we spoke about Wolves and that for.
Yeah, that's
quite
true.
A while.
That's true. Dog's got a question for us. Would you rather become a Palace Ultra or never be able to go to a game again, but be able to watch all the games from home for free? Well, I mean, I would definitely. I'd
try my hand at the drum. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather be. Yeah, we all want to go to the games, and I mean, to be fair, like, I don't know, but I've met a couple of the ultras, and
they seem all right to me
in the past, and they're all right bunch of lads, to be honest. I mean, I kind of get why people maybe don't like the way that the whole group does things, and I kind of get that. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I love going to games. JC loves going to games. Do you know what I mean? Like that's for us, that's like the holy grail. So. Say never go to a game. To be honest with you, sometimes even if I don't go to a game and it's on TV, sometimes I don't even watch it because, well, to be fair, it's mainly because I'm busy. But
yeah, I would listen. To be fair, sometimes the ultras actually like get their tickets reserved for them.
Yeah,
so if anything, it'll be a plus for some games.
Yeah, that's true. That is
like
true.
Strasbourg.
Because I do wonder, because I know like people dig them out and that. Because I mean, how many of them are there? I don't know, like a couple hundreds now, probably. But I do wonder how many of them have got, say, 11,000 plus loyalty points. I would have thought of say there's 200 of them. I would have thought at least 25 of them must have 11 or higher. Because at the end of the day, they were formed in 05. So. If I had a season ticket every seat, you've got to have at least, I don't know. And like some of them I know have been going for like years and years. So I mean, I know there's the whole thing about them not going to away games, but to be fair, they do. Well, a number of them do, but they don't go as a collective, if like as a name.
For example, like you said, they were founded in 05. Let's say they bought a season ticket every single year from then till now, and it's 500 points per season ticket. That's already 10,000 points.
Yeah, exactly. So
and that's not including like buying stuff from the club shop, buying a gold membership, buying Palace Plus or season ticket plus, or buying a shirt from the club store. Like that's not saying any of that. So that's just a flat 10k just off of season ticket. So it wouldn't surprise me if loads of them, or loads of the founders, let's say, have the amount of points to do it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Mary saying pre-Premiership days where nearly all games were 3 p.m. on Saturdays turned up and paid on the turnstile. To be honest, I think it's just a demand as well. Like pretty much every Premier League game is a sellout game.
And also tourists and stuff is a massive thing now, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Back in the day, student in Manchester has turned up at Old Trafford and Main Road and paid at the gate. To be fair, actually, I did that when I was at uni in Bristol. I went to a Bristol Rovers game, and I managed to pay on the gate that day as well. That was, I mean, to be fair, that was about 12, 13 years ago now.
I was in year 7.
All right. I miss the old days. I live in the north, so not a season ticket holder. Can't get to any games. TV isn't the same as live football. I was very lucky to get to the FA Cup semi-final. Magical. Yeah, absolutely. Do you go to like the northern away games then? Big up Rich. Has he recovered from yesterday? He has recovered.
Yeah, we blame Nicky because he joined our TACT-EAGLE. We was trying to
blaming Nicky.
Yeah, blame Nicky.
And then apparently Alex is being thrown off by your hair, JC. Bristol Rovers isn't Old Trafford. Yeah, no, that is very true. It is much smaller though. It is much smaller. It's not a very good ground. I have to be honest. It's not that good.
Does the roof leak?
Does the what?
The roof leak.
Oh, well, the away end doesn't have a roof, so.
I mean,
I wasn't in the away end, but.
It's better than Gillingham. I think the away end in Gillingham is all scaffolding, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a temp. It's a
temp stand that's been up for 10 years.
Unbelievable. Right, defence.
All right, so not trying to keep you guys here for too much longer than an hour. So we're going to try and do this in like 7 minutes. So we've already spoke about the press. I already briefly touched on the fact that they might change their defensive style from a 3 or a 4 at the back. So they like to play a 4 at the back if they are, I guess, looking at playing a more physical team, and a 3/5 at the back, depending on if they're playing a more technical team. We sort of, if I was their manager, I would see us as sort of a team that does both, because we've sort of got half of our team. To be fair, the right side of our team is much more physical and pacey, and the left side of our team is more technical. Let's say, like, you obviously got Pino on one side and Sarr and Munoz on the other, and then obviously got our midfielders as well. So it depends on what we do. If we play. If they set up for, I guess, us to play technically, and out of the blue we have Wart and Lerma standing up, they might have to switch formation halfway through just to handle Lerma's physicality in how he deals with set pieces, for example. Quickly on set pieces, they're all right in attacking set pieces. They're all right in defensive set pieces. They do struggle at corners a lot, though. I think they are one of the highest teams that conceded goals from corners in their league so far. I think out of the goals that they've conceded, I think it's 3. I think that's joint top of their league with Lille, I believe it is, which is, something that we can say about. We're not awful at corners anymore ever since Glasner came around, which is nice. But let's talk about their main formation, which is their 3 at the back formation, which is what I would imagine they would play. So I just sin bin myself instead of putting the
I wonder where you got
squad.
them.
But yeah, so like I said, they are a very, very narrow team, and they will defend very, very narrow as well. But what we need to remember is that whenever a team plays against them, their defense is never in a 5 if they are playing a 5 back, because for some reason, how the games play against them, if you look at like the momentum charts, which I never do, but I was just so surprised because let me see if I can show you actually. But basically, the momentum chart is normally like you got one team on the ascendant and it sort of dips, and then the other team's on the ascendant and it sort of goes up, and it's like a smooth curve, let's say. But because they're so high intensity and they're so like trying to push forwards and just push through the barriers all the time, the momentum chart is just like this: up, down, zigzag. It's crazy. Can I find it? It was on there somewhere.
For which game?
Any of them.
Let's have a look.
Oh, here you go. Got it. Let me share my screen. If you see here, oh, where's my mouse? You see it up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down.
Mm-hmm.
What can I?
Wow, I mean, I'm looking at that and I'm like, to me, it looks like overall Lille had a lot more pressure on them than
they did, but Lille lost 2-0 here.
Unbelievable.
So they're a team that don't need the ball very much, but when they have the ball, they are very forward-thinking, very progressive. But because of how forward-thinking, how progressive they are, because all their pressing happens over here, they're always out of position when the other team go up. So, for example, they always push their wing-backs high. Their wing-backs are always high.
Yeah.
So basically, if we push our wing-backs high as well in the attack, or if we try and turn the ball over and counter-attack them, which is something that we're very good at, our wing-backs are going to have so much space that what tends to happen quite a lot of the time is if someone like Danny Munoz has a ball out here, where has my ball gone?
What? Pause.
Oh.
What did he say?
What did he say? If Munoz, I guess, gets in behind the defense and he's in a position like this, we're going to force them to be in a situation where old Chile here cannot get back in time. And basically, have to commit their centre back out wide, which, Dan, if Decore leaves Ismail Assar and progresses over here, what's the easy pass for Munoz?
Where you chop it inside in that space, didn't you?
You go like that. He'll take a touch forwards. He'll come across. He does a nice little one inside, and Mateta misses an open goal. That's what happened.
Sadly, true. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Because he has played in that left centre back, Chilwell. I think if they decide to play him there, that's a disaster.
But yeah, basically because their wing backs are so high, and they're normally the only people that bring the width, we're going to have so much space here because they don't want to leave the centre backs don't really move around too much. It's the wing backs and everyone else which does a lot. Like the wing backs, like they could be out wide, they could be inverted. One could be inverted, the other one could be out wide. Like there's a lot of what they do, but the wing backs press a lot, so they're always out of position. So if we hold our wing backs high and we keep them in position in wide places, they're going to have a lot of time on the ball, and they're going to have a lot of opportunities to put crosses in, for example. And funny enough, crosses is actually one of the things they struggle against. They really struggle against dribbling teams. They really struggle against teams that can thread a needle. So Kamada and Wharton would be the perfect example of these kind of players that they struggle against. And I think maybe, I don't know if Dan said this, but going into how we would defend against them, they try to attack quite similarly to us, but they don't actually have the players of that kind of level to attack as well as us. So I would say that, like, Enciso is probably the Jeremy Pino of their team, if you're going to look at it like that. But then Emega is sort of like their Sar and Mateta all in one, where he's like a decent finisher and he's decently fast, but he's not really amazing at either. So he's the one that's normally trying to run in behind, but he's not incredibly fast. Like, I would back Maxence Lacroix to pocket him in this game.
Yeah.
And I think Mark would be more than good enough to do it as well if he does think to go out wide to Mark. But yeah, things they struggle with. Crossing. They struggle with a bit of pace, actually, because their centre-backs are good. They're strong, but they're not actually that quick. So a ball in behind for Sar will be very nice. And also, the last thing I want to say is, Dan, do you know what they love to do because of how forward-thinking they are? They love a high line. And what does this make Sar love?
they do, to be fair.
He loves playing against a high line. That's why he always plays well against Villa and why he always plays well against Liverpool. It's the high line.
That's
Don't
what I'm
play a high line against Sar.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they decide to play Chile and that where Decore is,
Ooh, Chile here.
That's going to be a long day for them.
Yeah, and basically, I believe if we keep the ball, if we can play through their press by just doing one ball out wide to one of our free players, or if they flood the press and we literally just dink it over them into our midfield to Wharton and he can send Sar flying, then I think we've got a good chance of playing in this game. One thing I would want to say as well is we have struggled in the Conference League against other teams because I wouldn't say they've refused to play against us, but they've played very defensive. They've tried to stop us from playing. But because of the level of Strasbourg, because I guess European-wise, they're probably a bigger team than us, a better team than us European-wise.
Type of manager as well, very rigid manager.
Yeah, very much a forward-thinking kind of manager. He's going to try and play football against us. And that will play into our hands because we actually play better against people that try and play football against us. So in a weird way, this could be the best game of our European tour so far. And it could also be a game that potentially, because if they're not playing to their best ability, we could win this game.
Yeah.
This could be a game where we could actually, I wouldn't go as far as say increase the goal difference, but I would say that there's no reason why we couldn't come out of this game with 3 points.
Yeah. I agree. And there's a couple of comments that I'm going to skirt around and come back to. But before we do that, Earth wants to know what the wallpaper design is, JC.
It's like Chinese stuff, isn't it?
It looks like temples and like Buddhas and stuff from here.
I mean, like, that's like a tree, and these people are drinking some alcohol.
Jeez.
And then that's like a bridge over some water.
Is it troubled water?
I don't know. There's like some cool stuff down here. I think the people that I bought this place off were Chinese.
Oh, okay. Right. Fair enough.
But one thing I would say, and people may laugh at this. People will laugh at this, actually.
Oh, God.
I believe that the people that lived here were giants. Because I can't reach any of the cupboards here.
Wait. When you say they were giants, do you mean normal size?
No. I mean, like, to get to the top cabinet, I had to buy a stool. Like, unironically, I need a stool for this house.
Oh, my God.
Listen, Dan, when you come over, yeah, or if you ever come over, I will show you the kitchen. It's crazy. Like, even this desk, my chair is on the highest setting. And even then, the arms of this chair are like an inch, like 2-3 inches below the actual desk.
The worst part is I won't be able to reach either because I'm only a little bit taller than you.
I mean, then again, like for instance, I reckon I could stand up and I'll still be in camera shot. That's how tall everything is. Wait, I'm stood up.
Nearly.
I'm stood. No, if I just step back, I'm stood up.
You're leaning down. You're leaning down.
I'm still in shot though.
Unbelievable.
This is what you get from TACT-EAGLE.
Racing to Strasbourg. Where would they finish? I think. Yeah, I think you're right, Alex. I think possibly top 10. What do you think, JC? Sorry, top 12. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think that they've got good enough play. I think that their biggest attribute is their squad. They've got so many players of a high quality that they could just rotate and they'll be very good.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be very good in the league season. They're fourth in the French league. And to be fair, the French league, the quality is shot up in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it's a farmers league anymore, really.
No, definitely. And yeah, I'll probably say better than Leeds and Wolves. I'd probably say more like a
Brentford, something like that.
Yeah, like a sort of. I think like sort of like that. Yeah. I'd probably say so. Yeah. Let's see. They might be giants. JC's a short king. Short Kings unite!
Yeah.
Yay! Classic Nan 90s parody band. They might be giants. You get Tim and Tristan over to help you, give you a helping hand.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I tell you who was tall. That RZ fan. Wow.
Mate.
He even made Rich look short. And I was
Wait,
like, wow.
Rich was stood on the step, and Rich was still tiny.
Yeah, Amiel. Shout out
Amiel. I said,
very, very tall guy.
Even though it'd be funny, I cannot interview him because all you would see is like my forehead.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
How was the game today, mate?
So what did you think of the game today?
Sorry, mate, I didn't hear that.
But yeah, Strasbourg are probably they're arrogant in the way they play. Definitely, like they're going to come out. They're not going to sit back. I mean, to be honest, when they score, I did notice they do tend to sit back more. So you will see that. But yeah, but I agree with what did Mary say. This is very encouraging. I agree. And Alex is going to predict a 3-goal win based on your analysis, like a 5-2 or a 4-1. Do I throw myself under the bus? Is it yeah. You know what? Before the game, I thought 2-2, and that would be a good result. But I gotta be honest, I really wasn't impressed. I really wasn't impressed by Strasbourg. I think when they play a team that sits, I feel like they're quite ponderous. I feel like they rely on individual brilliance sometimes to actually like get the opposition out of their shape. Which I mean, fair play to Rossini, he's obviously telling them to do that, perhaps. And yeah, I just felt them ponderous. They do. I mean, they chuck in a lot of crosses, but I feel like we can deal with them. Yeah, I don't know. I really wasn't impressed by them. And like their press is probably their most effective weapon as well. And I didn't even think that was that good either. Like I genuinely didn't. So I am now going to say 2-1 to Palace because I think when they do turn and they do have space, they are dangerous. It's just a matter of will they get that, will they not? Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
Well, you know what I think's funny? You know what you said about your original prediction? That's what I had. Yeah. I had 2-2 as well.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I agree. I agree with you. I didn't look at the attack at all. I just looked at. They're fourth in the league. They defend a bit dodgy,
same,
and I thought they just scored loads of goals and they just blew people away. I don't want to copy you.
Copy me. Go on.
I don't want to. I'm going to say 2-0.
Woo! Okay.
Clean
Okay.
sheet, get that goal difference up, and get that charge for top 8 back and going again. Because I think if we win that game, if we win Strasbourg, I think we'll probably beat Cups and Shelbourne as well.
Yeah.
That
Cups.
almost
Cups and
that,
spoons.
yeah.
Cups and plates.
Yeah, I reckon if we win our next 3 games, we'll get. I think we'll get top 8.
Yeah,
It's going to be a big ask. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a massive ask. It wouldn't surprise me if we don't get it at all.
I mean,
top 8 is almost, in my opinion, is almost essential for the fact that if Saar goes, what do you? Like, obviously, you've got Decore and the other African players, but Saar is the one. And if Saar goes and he can't play in that double-headed game in January, there's 2 European games in January. That's going to be a really big task for us.
Well, it'd be interesting to see who we get in the what do you call it? The in the window. Because I'm looking. I'll tell you what. Let me just chuck this up here since we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Also, I have a poll running for result against Strasbourg. 14 votes. No one has voted a loss.
Okay, good.
21% said draw and 79% say win. So a lot of people think we're going to win.
Fair play. That's good. Good optimism. But yeah, so this is what we're looking like at the moment for this game. Is that seeable or is that a bit small? Oh, it's not even on there. Apologies. Right, so that's how we're looking at the moment. Now, from my in-depth research, okay, you want around about 11 points will get you, if you got 10 points with good goal difference, 11 points generally gets you top 8. I mean, we're on 6, so we've still got 3 games left. Really, we should be beating Shelbourne and Cups. We should be beating. Strasbourg is always a difficult one for me. But again, like we said, having looked on it now, I don't really rate them. So if we were to beat them, they'll put us on 9 points, which would need really one more win. We'll be fine. I think really the ideal situation is we beat Strasbourg, we beat Shelbourne, and then the last game can be kind of used as like a rotate kind of game, because I think we'll have not already qualified, but it's every time for every competition that's had 6 games, generally it's around about 11 points, which is what's that in terms of points per game? That's 1.8 points per game. And when I extrapolated that for an 8-game one, so what's that? If you times that by 8, what do you get? So about 14, 15 points. That's the same as what you needed in say like an 8-game. So in like Europa League and Champions League, if you were getting around about the same points per game, which is about 14, 15 points, again you would go through. So really, that's what you want to be averaging, 1.8 points per game. So as long as you're winning, say 2 out of 3, then that's fine. That's kind of where you want to be. So in my opinion, beat Strasbourg, beat Shelbourne, use Cups as like a rotate option game.
And also, if you top the table, you literally play the bottom ranked team going through to that next round as well.
Oh, do you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So literally, the higher you finish, the better off you are.
So that actually would be beneficial to do.
So, like, for example, if you finish first in this round, then after the 9th to 24th knock each other out, you're then playing 16th.
Yeah. And
then second play 15th, and it goes like that.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
It's actually very beneficial to try and just finish as high as possible.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And do we play? I mean, yeah, we play Strasbourg, but every other team's below us, isn't it? So, but yeah, that's how we're looking at the moment. At the moment, anyway. Some final comments, and then we'll round out. Mary saying tool cupboards are a good use of space. Footstools are essential. JC. Alex is predicting Wolves' loss. You are very pessimistic about that, aren't you, Alex? I'm not really too sure. I'm not even really, to be honest, I'm so focused on the Strasbourg game, I forget we're even playing balls half the time. Having the majority back from injury is great. Honestly, Chadi Riyad and Decore being back, and as long as they're able to reintegrate into the team, not get any more setbacks or any major setbacks, they're going to be like new signings, as the cliche goes.
Ooh, new signings. To be fair, I think that the Decore one would be incredible just to
Yeah.
have him fit. Because I remember when we were 1-0 down against Chelsea. Was it last year or the year before? Well,
Must have
1-0
been the
down
year
against
before.
Chelsea. Decore came on. No, it must have been last year because we played Decore and Wharton in the middle,
Did
and
we?
the second that Decore came on at half time, we killed Chelsea for that second half. And I think Decore got injured literally the next game. I think
okay.
I think Glasner started him or something like that, and he got injured in like 15 minutes.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah, I mean, he's brilliant. And also for me, like that Wharton kind of role, I feel like Hughes is okay at it, but I feel like that's probably of the midfield, of the two central midfield roles, I feel like that's where we're weakest.
Yeah.
Without like, because like that left hand one, like realistically, Kamada's good there, Hughes is good there, Lerman's all right there. Do you know what I mean? Like I feel like we're quite covered in that one. It's just that other one, like Hughes is okay there, and Lerman's maybe not as great there. So having Decore back, being able to play there is excellent. And also, if he comes back and he comes back well, you've already got your Wharton replacement in a way. Like you'd obviously need that. You obviously need to buy someone else, like for depth. But he if he comes back in a good way, he could easily be that guy again.
I mean, Decore was really good at passing, but he was never on the level of Adam Wharton. But what you will get from Decore is he read the game so incredibly well, and he tackled so well as well, that he was just an absolute beast in the middle. I mean, you need to remember, the season before he got injured, that summer, Liverpool won him for like 60, 70 million quid.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's still quite young, isn't he? I think he's 25.
Yeah, something like that. And then because I know that when we got him, I know Arsenal.
Check Decore is like 2 months younger than me, so yeah, he's 25.
26 in January. Wow, he's born in the year 2000. Wow, that makes me feel
So was
old.
I.
Oh God. So no, I'm only 30. Well, I'm 31 very soon. Damo saying, "What's their fans like? Make noise?" I think so. I'm not really too
They've
sure.
got some ultras themselves, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I presume you'll be in that in the away end, Damo. If you want to meet up with us for a drink or anything like that, just give us a shout. Hopefully a couple of goals, 2-0 Palace. Take down Blueco, I agree. Shelbourne, a League Two, probably harder to beat Bromley. I bet we use Leeds as a rotation. Glasner will not sit people the last game. I think it depends how the table looks. Perdan 5.4 is par for top 8. After Strasbourg 7.2 par. I'm not too. What do you mean by par there, Fez? Earth Extreme 6 foot Christmas tree, and you'll store this year, JC.
I think Rihanna bought a Christmas tree that's 7 foot tall, so I'm going to need a ladder for that one.
Pat saying, I think we should sign. You nearly got me. Pat. And on that note, thank you all very, very much for watching. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for sticking with us for an hour and nearly 20 minutes. We really, really appreciate it. Smash that like button, please. Smash. And I'm sure we'll have a vlog out for you. We'll be doing a vlog for the Strasbourg game, so you can keep up to date. Palace in Europe, people. Eagles.
E-girls.